Okay, go ahead, Lakshmi.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so specifically, we're going to look at the macronutrients, and fat being one of the macronutrients. We'll talk specifically about omega-3 as being one of the fats, and to understand what the seven benefits are and how that relates to us or each individual. The way I work specifically is I work with different body types. So you have to understand your body type, meaning that you have to understand your somatotype. Everyone has a specific body type, so that means the nutrients that you get from food are specific to your specific need, or whether you're an athlete or male or female. And the three body types are mesomorph, ectomorph, and endomorph. Okay. Now, with my test, we can show you how that qualifies you for each group and how that affects your metabolism. Now, the three macronutrients, how they'll affect your metabolism is because you require a certain amount of fuel, you require a certain amount of calories, right? So the three macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fat. I also like to put water in there as well as a macronutrient, just so based on your lean muscle. Once you understand your body type, you'll know exactly how much water you should be drinking per day. So, as a personal trainer as well, I have quite a few clients that only started drinking water, and I mean literally only started drinking water when they started training. They'll take a glass in the morning to take their vitamin or the blood pressure pill or whatever medication they're taking, but for the rest of the day, typically they'll be drinking tea or any kind of liquid or juice that they have, but no one is specifically drinking water. So once we understand what our lean muscle is like, we know how much fuel we're going to put in our body. Where you would actually use specific omega-3s is maybe you're dealing with a specific issue, right? For children, based on the development of their brains and their eyes, children under 12 years old, they want to take about 150 to 2,000 milligrams per day of essential fatty acids, and that's what we call the EPA and the DHA, right? The eicosapentaenoic pantenoic acid is the EPA, and the docosahexaenoic hexanoic acid is the DHA, right? So there are different profiles of amino acids, much like there are different profiles of essential fatty acids, much like there are different profiles of amino acids, right? So specifically today, I want to just talk about the omega-3 and the fish oil from wild Alaskan salmon. Now, wild Alaskan salmon is like the gold standard. You unfinished brushing. Okay, well, thank you. Wild Alaskan salmon is the gold standard of fish oils. So some of the main things that we're looking at from this particular fish oil is just the process in which it gets to us in our capsule or in a liquid. Now, one of the things that most people are prevent people from wanting to take essential fatty acids or fish oil in general is that aftertaste that they get from taking the oil. Something you can't take it on an empty stomach. The new processes that they're using are removing these chemicals that they use to actually take out the chemicals and the bacteria that might be in the oil. So just a purification process or a pasteurization process in bottling the oil. This is where they use the chemicals, and some of these chemicals, because they're not totally removed from the oil, when you take the oil, it actually causes a bad taste. Some of us might remember as children, we took cod liver oil. Maybe your mom or your grandmother, kind of back to your corner with a spoon and take your cod liver oil, and remember that taste. Still to this day, when you inhale, I can still taste it. But the one of the oils that we recommend is New Chapter, the whole omega oil. This oil is made from the time it's caught to the time it's made into the fish oil. It's 75 minutes from the time it's caught. Right. So there are only a few companies that are actually doing that, where they're catching the fish right there in the lake and actually having the plant near the lake where they're actually bottling it. Right. The other one is Aqua Omega. That's another oil that we carry, and this one is from Chile, and they're catching different types of fish that they put in these oils. Now, some of the different fish that they use in the oils are, like I said, wild Alaskan salmon is the gold standard. What you get from the wild Alaskan salmon, you get 17 omega fatty acids, which are found in only in these superfoods in this fish, and these are the 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, this particular oil, because of this long chain, when you take it, it teaches your body to burn fat as energy. So, like I said before, once you understand your body type, and we know exactly how many grams of fats you're going to be taking per day, when you know how many grams of fat you're going to be taking per day, then you'll understand where this essential fatty acids fit in. Now, let's say, for example, you're getting about 1,500 calories per day. You'd want to take a certain percentage of that in fat, maybe about 20 to 25%. If you work out, or if you play sports, or if you're An endurance athlete, that could vary anywhere from 25, 25 to 30%. So your profile in your meal plan would look something like a 40, 30, 30 as far as protein, carbs, and fat, or it could be 25 protein, maybe 50 carbs, and the rest would be in fat. So this is how I operate when I do my assessment with my clients. I will give you a specific ratio based on your body type and how much lean muscle you have on your body. So where the essential oil will fit in will help to deal with specific issues. Let's say you have inflammation, for example. If you're dealing with chronic inflammation, then we'll give you a specific amount of fish oils that you would require to help to abate that inflammation, right? So that's one of the ways that we actually know exactly how much oils that we should be taking. A lot of us are afraid of fats nowadays. I mean, when we start to diet, the first thing we do is cut the fats from our diet, but that's the worst thing to do because one of the main benefits of essential fatty acid is to actually stoke your metabolism. It actually increases your energy. So if you vary the amount of fats per carbohydrate, you'll actually teach your body to burn fat more efficiently, right? And I think a lot of it is based on the media, and fat has been vilified over the years. In that, when you're dieting or any other diet is about cutting fat, now they're vilifying sugar. Sugar is the enemy now, only because they've actually found different sources of sugar that's more convenient and cheaper to put in our food, right? Specifically beet sugar, for example, right? One of the fats that most of us are familiar with is also coconut oil. Coconut oil is a good form of fat. It's also a good form of saturated fat, but this type of saturated fat will actually be broken down by the body. It's actually utilized as multi-chain triglyceride (MCT) fats. So for those that work out or those that are athletes, MCT oil has been used for since the 60s, since about 1965, 69. In that era, a lot of bodybuilders started using MCT fats. And how does that equate to a good fat? Well, because it actually breaks down into another component called lauric acid. And the lauric acid has other components called caprylic acid and cupric acid. So this breaking down on different levels of fat is actually what's increasing the metabolism, is teaching your body to use fat as energy. Most people, when they're dieting and they cut the fats out of their diet, what they do is they actually do is actually tell their body that, hey, I'm cutting fat from my body, so the body will now start to store excess calories as fat, right? Remember, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So if you're cutting fats from your diet, then the body says, hey, I'm going to convert this excess carbs to fat, right? So our main source of fuel is carbohydrate, but typically that's another one that we actually try to cut from our diet is the carbohydrates. So the body is very smart. You cannot fool it based on how many calories it requires, right? So like I said, if you're a mesomorph, endomorph, or ectomorph, it knows exactly how many of these macronutrients you need. Obviously, we have a certain amount of energy that we burn per day, right? Based on your occupation, you might be a waitress or you might be a construction worker. Either one, there's a certain occupational, physical amount of calories that you're burning based on occupation, right? So the three things that we take into account are your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, your occupational activity rate, and like I said, the physical activity rate is whether you're busy on the job or you actually work out in the gym or you play sports. These three factors will go in to make up how many calories you're going to take in per day. So where the omega-3 fits in now is based on that fat macronutrient, right? So we'll know exactly how much of those three macros you should be taking in. Again, when you're dealing with the specific benefits, we talk about development of the brain and eyes for children. Adults will take about 2 servings of either of these essential fatty acids. Typically, when you get the 1 tablespoon or you get a capsule, it's about 1,000 milligrams, and 2 servings is what you require per day. Even 2 servings of fish, again, a good type of fish like mackerel, herring, salmon, cod, anchovies. These are the fish that would have the good source of essential fatty acids. And why do they have the good source of essential fatty acid? Because these are deep water fish. Deep cold water fish will have a good fats in their body, and plus there also be less toxins or less mercury in their fats. Again, another thing with fats in our body will actually store fats, and where the toxins are hiding, fat toxins are hiding in the fats in our body. So when you consume essential fatty acids and you burn the fat that you're currently storing, the brown adipose tissue. So there's 3 levels of those fats in your body. When you're burning that visceral fat, you're actually shedding and eliminating those toxins from your body as well. So don't be afraid of essential fatty acids. Um, the other source of fatty acid are some superfoods. Acai is a main one. So that's another benefit of a superfood is acai's got omega 7 fats, durian, jackfruit, coconut, like I mentioned, and cacao. So these are all other sources of good fats from superfoods. Flax are also is another good source. Flax. So a really good product I recommend as well. Not just the salmon oil is also a product called Udo's oil. So Dr. Udo Erasmus, he wrote a book called Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. This is going way back to about 1980, 81. And so he developed a product that he formulates 7 different types of oils into this product. Excellent product to use just to give you all the different profiles of fats that you want to consume. Because you don't want to be taking, all these different fish oils just to get the right amount. So he's formulated a product that has all these different even primrose oil, borage oil, salmon oil, fatty acids, and maybe about 3,000 milligrams to 4,000 milligrams of vitamin D. You can take up to 17,000 milligrams of vitamin D, but when you start taking that much D, you actually have to make sure you're being supervised by a healthcare practitioner, and we're treating specific issues at that point. Obviously, someone that's dealing with depression or chronic depression every February. February is Heart Month, by the way. So, one thing you'll find is a lot of companies promoting fish oil for that at that point. When it comes to conventional therapies, such as dealing with arthritis, you might want to take about another 3,000 milligrams. And again, like I said, remember, it's also based on your body type. If you're 280 pounds, 250 pounds, and you have 160 to 70 pounds of lean muscle, these numbers they might not quite be specifically what you'd require. You might require more based on treating specific symptoms, right? So we talk about mood, we talk about arthritis, we talk about developing your brain, eyes, and nerves, brain function. Again, if you're a student, it's also important to take essential fatty acids just for helping you to cognitive recall. And we talk about cardiovascular health, like someone that works out. That's actually a very good one. You might want to take about 3 to 5,000 milligrams of essential fatty acids if you work out. Right. So see, these are some of the main benefits to lower your blood triglyceride or blood fats. The main thing to look at is going back to the beginning. Typically, when you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or your blood work says you have high LDL, what you want to look at is based on your diet. Don't just look at supplementation or some kind of medication. Go back to the beginning and do this um, assessment of finding out what your body type is and understanding how many calories you require. And then based on that, you can know how much essential fatty acids to put in your diet. Typically, when you do that and you sort of backtrack to, hey, my diet is not the best. I might have a continental breakfast in the morning of eating muffins and waffles and coffee and that type of breakfast. And then I might go straight to lunch and have a big lunch. Understanding how many calories you require will also understanding the type of symptoms you're dealing with because everything is from our food or our lack of nutrition, right? So a lot of us are eating a lot, but we're still malnourished. And we're malnourished because our soil is so depleted and we're not getting enough dense calories or good calories from our food. Right? So fast food does not give you good nutrition because fast food is grown at a certain level and picked at a certain time to make sure this whole cycle continues. With getting their fries and their burgers and their lettuce and so on. So these foods aren't foods that you would look at naturally for nutrition. You'd want to go back into more of a supplement to assist your foundation diet. Right. I like to use the word foundation because, when you start to seek to a foundation, you always, start at the beginning. What is my lean muscle? How old am I? What is my BMR? What is my OAR, my occupation activity rate? And what is my PAR, my physical activity rate? This is your foundation. This is how you know how many calories you require. Then you can actually decide how much essential fatty acids do I need to augment my diet. You can't really supplement a poor diet, so always, like I said, go back to the beginning and understand what your what your diet is lacking. Right. Obviously, a multivitamin is in there as well, and maybe even some green superfoods. All right. So I know I've been talking for a little while. Anyone has any questions in regards to specifics that might relate to their dosage of vitamin omega threes? No questions?
Lastly,
Hey, moi.
um, I know 150% that I'm supposed to be taking in some extra omega 3. I have upped in the past year, I have upped my diet with fish. Um, However, I know there is a caution with doing that as far as mercury is concerned.
Yes, yes, correct.
But mostly it is salmon that I eat. I eat salmon 99% of the time
Okay.
over all fishes. Is there still a concern with me eating wild salmon in that quantity, or would it be best to lower that and take your whole omega 3?
Yeah, where most of the
And I
concern.
think I think you know my body type, so
Yes, yes,
based
correct.
on that as well. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, as an ectomorph. So where most of the concern came in was with tuna, which is higher up on the food chain as far as the specific chemicals. I mean, we can't go through all the different chemicals that are in our water nowadays, but mercury being the main one. But the other thing too, we also have mercury in a mercury amalgam in our fillings in our mouth. So I mentioned the greens. The super greens are the greens that you should be consuming. Those would actually help to pull some of these toxins out of your body. So if you do want to use eat fish more so than taking a supplement, then there are other supplements that can you can sort of create a synergy with when you take them, and to make sure you. Oh,
Outside of
sorry.
my
Yeah,
ego.
zeolite.
Can you spell that?
Zeo. Yeah, Zeolite. Zeolite.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a great mineral to consume, trace mineral to take in. You can get it in a capsule or you can get it in a liquid. You can also consume a supplement called shilajit, and shilajit is another metal. It's a negative charge.
Spell that
So
one.
Shilijit.
Okay.
Shilajit. Sorry, yeah, shilajit. Right, and there's also fulvic acid and humic acid. So if you eat fish,
Ascorbic.
if you have fulvic acid and humic acid,
Folic and humic.
fulvic and humic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So these come in a liquid. Biological Therapeutics is a company that makes the liquid, right? So if you've eaten a lot of fish, you can, yeah. And so this is what the problem is with fish oil too, is when they try to process the type of fish they choose to put in their oils based on the chemicals they use. That's what causes the bad taste and the burp, the back burp that you taste there, right? So again, a lot of these companies are actually finding ways around that now by, bottling the fish right from the sea. They'll catch the fish out to the sea. There's a company that operates in Chile, and they literally catch the fish, and while they're out to sea, there's a docking station in the water, and they pump the fish through pipes into the plant. Like literally within half an hour of catching the fish. So they don't need to go through the same chemical process of sanitizing the oil. Right. So from a supplement standpoint, that's one way to get around that, but by choosing the right type of oil. But if you're eating fish, like I said, two to three times a week, we should eat different types of fish. I know most of us from the Caribbean, we tend to eat snapper or kingfish. It's not quite up on the same scale as tuna, but so we won't have as much problems with chemicals. Although with the oil spill in the Valdez back in, I think that was the 80s, late 80s. That was an issue with the pollution in the Alaska at that time. And then I think we also had the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. So that was a problem for the fishermen in Texas and Mexico, because that's where we get a lot of our snapper from in Florida, in that panhandle there. So a lot of the
Okay.
And from what I understand, there's still at least 300 liters a day that's still coming out. That's the last I heard that, maybe a year or two ago. So I know they haven't
Like you
fully.
mentioned, do you carry that? You carry that, right?
Yeah, Zeolite, Shilajit, I have all those products. The Puracell product that I have as well will have that. Puracell is right here. So that's the product I mentioned, the Puracell. So this is a specific heavy metal detox for this product that I have here. It's got the zeolite in there, and it also has the different greens and the enzymes that would help to aid the body in metabolizing and breaking down these toxins. So,
Okay.
and then I mentioned the other one called the Hope, which is the blood detoxifier. I think I sold out of that one. But the Hope is it's actually very powerful. My wife is on it. She's detoxing with it, and
Did you say it's
she's
called the Hope?
it's called Hope. That's the actual name of the
Hope.
product.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a blood detoxifier. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so those are the specific supplements. So again, once I do your assessment and I understand specifically what you're treating, then we can implement these protocols in your detox, these particular products, and they would be used at a different stage in the detox. Right. So we start with your colon, then we start with your liver, and then we go to the kidney and the blood. Right, and even the brain. We can do the brain as well with specific nutrients.
Okay.
Because with the spraying of the chemtrails in the environment now, we have to deal with that. Obviously, with drinking out of water bottle, using microwave, pesticide runoff, those are things that we have to detoxify from.
So did you say you do the biofeedback before you for everyone
Yeah,
before
that's
you?
that's kind of the foundation because there are underlying things from a cellular standpoint that
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to unless you bring me your blood work, and then we can read that and see. And usually you go do a blood test because you're dealing with something specific, right? So that would be kind of the crux of what you want to approach first, and then we usually end up finding other things that are affecting you. The great thing about the biofeedback is once you do it, the main thing that you come in to talk to me about or that you're dealing with would also cause a cascading effect of deficiency down the line. So one of the things that we notice a lot nowadays is a peristalsis issue in the length of time your food takes to digest and pass through your system. So when I mentioned the macronutrients, and that's why I mentioned them, because when we eat these three macros, they should digest at a certain time through our body, so we'll know exactly what our metabolism is like. Because
Okay.
if you're lacking one of these essential fatty acids, then we just need that. And most people are trying to eat well. Most people are trying to do well, do well by themselves, and it's just a matter of tweaking certain things, or maybe creating a synergy with certain things that you're taking, and then they would be able to see a difference. For typically, you'll notice energy is the first thing you'll notice, or a little bit more clarity. A lot of people have brain fog or rancid brain, and that's rancid brain is actually a real issue nowadays, and that's from the bad
Rancid brain. I've heard of
rancid.
brain fog. I've never heard the term rancid brain.
Yeah, so the brain fog is from the heavy metals and the chemicals and the pesticide runoff, but the rancid brain is actually the bad fats that we're consuming, right? So,
Okay. Makes
yeah, so
sense.
these bad fats are crossing the blood-brain barrier and causing an issue with that as well. And it also stems from some of the fatty liver issue that we hear nowadays. Typically, when you think of fatty liver, you think of people that drink alcohol and are alcoholics that have that. But again, some of these bad fats, canola oil being one, which is very high in chemicals that cause blood, what do you call age spots on your hands and your face.
Hmm.
Palm oil is also another one. Soy oil, corn oil, vegetable oil. Uh, these oils weren't necessarily bad a long time ago, but nowadays because of the GMO,
Yeah.
our body does not recognize them anymore, and some of these fats are very toxic to the body.
Okay.
Yeah. So and again, the types of oils that we cook with, that's another issue in how the fatty liver comes about. The flax oil is a good one, omega 3, walnut oil, right? Some of these oils, as we start getting a little bit more exotic, like macadamia and walnut, they get a little bit more pricier. But these are some of the oils that will actually create a much better synergy with your metabolism and helping to burn fat. Right? For men, pumpkin seed oil is good, safflower oil, sunflower oil, right? And there's some blends too. There's an oil from a company called it's an Italian company. They make chili oil from fruit. They use fruit, the seeds from fruit, and they actually make the oil from that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm.
I have another question for you, Luxley. I wanted to
Sure.
know is that does taking fish oil help with improving your memory performance?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, along with maintaining the balance in blood sugar, because it lowers your insulin response during meals and maintain muscle mass during weight loss, right? But again, the essential fatty acids are very good for the brain. The EPA and DHA, that's going to help with that neurotransmitter and cognitive function and recall. Right? So you're going to have a better memory, better recall, short-term memory. Right? One of the things that we're familiar with nowadays is autism in children, right? So essential fatty acids also very good for children. But also when you think of adults, and Alzheimer's is also sometimes equated to adult autism. That's what it's referred to. So consuming essential fatty acids and doing the detox with those the zeolite and the shilajit, like I mentioned, that's a good way to start to help to detoxify the brain through dementia and Alzheimer's.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you give me what's the price for your D Light, your Pure Cell?
Yeah,
And
The Puracell is $45.
okay.
Yeah, and just straight zeolite by itself. Again, if you get it in the liquid, the biological therapeutics, and you'd probably need about 10 drops in water, maybe once or twice a day. You'll drink it. It's a great way to detox. It's very gentle. There's a company called Pasco. It's a homeopathic company I deal with as well. That's another one I use. Usually for
Do you
people that,
sell it? Do you carry it? Like, can it be ordered from you?
yeah, I can get you that one, the Pasco Canada. That one is use about 10 to 15 drops in the evening before bed, and that's a good way to just do a gentle detox of heavy metals in the body.
Do you have an idea the cost of the Zeolite?
Oh, the zeolite is about $65. Yeah, commercially, the one that the company that I deal with is a Russian company called Medical Medics, and this gentleman, he's got 12 different formulas of the zeolite, but for different specific reasons. Each one is a different, treating a different issue in the body.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. The other important thing, Marlene, right, as one of the things that we're doing is that also as part of the Zen ATX and the Health Triple ATX system, right? So let's say because you are an upgraded member, not only do you get the 10% discount, but also you get an additional 10% rewards in your wallet, right?
Hmm.
So almost like you're getting a 20% net savings on doing NB transaction.
yeah, that's a great program.
So you said the Zeolite was for
Heavy metal detox
that's the heavy metal detox.
and purifying your blood. Yes.
And so if someone does that help with radiation if someone has gone through a lot of taking CT scans, MRIs, and so forth?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I want to put in an order for the Zeolite.
Okay.
Um, well, the Puracell does the same thing, right?
Yeah, I'd like to use the Puracell on its own is a good product to use. And again, you want to use them in stages. So the zeolite, you can take that every day, as far as the 10 drops, and then the Puracell, you can just use it in the evening.
Okay.
So
Luxley,
so
yeah,
yes.
go
I think
ahead.
for now I'll go with the Puracell and the pumpkin seed powder. I know you
Oh
didn't mention it tonight, but I've asked you for that before. We haven't gotten around to it, so
yes,
we'll
yes.
add that to it. We'll meet up. We'll get that later this coming week.
Sure. Okay.
We'll arrange for that and have those two products
Okay. Thank you.
for me.
Yes, Jerry.
Yes, I just wanted to find out from you is that the the colon cleanse, right?
Yes.
So when you're taking, can we take the detox programs and the fish oil together, or does it, or you don't, or how would you recommend taking them?
Yeah, I mean, well, the fish oil is really we don't just treat it like food. Yeah, you don't think of it as, oh, I'm trying to feed my brain or help with my inflammation or cardiovascular health or what have you. It's again, it's a macronutrient, so it's something that should have been in our food, but again, because the way our food is produced nowadays, it's not in there. So you can actually take it every day. Like I've been taking Udo's oil for since about 1989. I mean, I go a month or so without it, but I'm always using a different oil. Um, There's so many different oils. Trying to go vegan as well too. I've tried to use a lot more DHA algae based oils, and I might do a month or two of those, and then I'll switch. Right? But again, for me being in the business too, I need to find out how each of these products work. So I can report back to my customers and my clients and say, hey, I've tried this one. I know it doesn't give me the bad taste or so on and so on. So because I do a lot of the research with the companies, usually when they launch, having worked for a lot of health food stores, a lot of health food company, we've gone into the talks, into the webinars, into the market research with each of these products to know how they're going to affect people. But yeah, you can definitely do the detox and then include the oils in there, because you're not necessarily doing the detox for fat loss per se. You just kind of purifying the body, cleansing the colon, the liver, and the blood, right?
Yes, 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 exactly. Okay,
Yeah. So
perfect.
yeah.
Also, then, do I need this question? Do I just go on the Health X website and put in these orders?
Yes,
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Yeah. The pumpkin powder protein is there. The Puracell we just got in stock. So we're still downloading the sell sheet information for that. But your discount still qualifies anyway, so it's no problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, now I remember what my question for you, Luxley, is that I know because Oasis Naturals is right now based in North America, Canada, and the U.S.
Yes.
If we had clients in the Philippines or clients in other foreign countries, can you deliver there?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've got Australia. We just sent products to Belgium, France, Israel, UK. Yeah. It's
Okay.
just a matter of what the volume is that you're ordering, and we work on the shipping for you after that.
Right, and these clients were placing these orders from Israel or Belgium, right?
Hmm.
How did they come to know about you?
Yeah. So we've done some Facebook campaign, Instagram, YouTube,
Okay,
Pinterest.
okay,
So we do marketing campaigns on the social media.
right, okay,
Yeah, and obviously your Google search.
right,
So because what we do at Oasis Natural, we carry raw, vegan, organic, non-GMO products. So because we have a specific niche in having clean products, a lot of people are more awake nowadays and understanding that there's a lot of excipients and binders and fillers in products, and they want to make sure that they don't consume those things on a regular basis. Yeah, magnesium stearate, silicon dioxide, titanium dioxide. These are things that people are starting to understand are allergens that are causing problems when they're consuming a product on a regular basis. So this is where we separate ourselves. You know.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we definitely have gone over an hour. So thank you very much, Luxley, for sharing this information. I have
You're welcome.
recorded this information, and hopefully we will be able to edit it and and make it available to our members on our YouTube channel.
Wonderful.
Okay. Perfect, everybody. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining us today. And then tomorrow, I just wanted to let you know, tomorrow in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, we will be doing the training for the ZenETX and the Health Triple X system, how to build it and grow it, and how to do the marketing for it. And also, we will explain the compensation plan more in detail. Okay, so thank you, everybody, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.